Hi, good day to all of you. So today I wish to discuss some concepts and problems on the class 11 topic, conduction. That's the topic that's coming under heat, conduction. So we are discussing the concepts and problems. It's useful for both class 11 exam and also the points are very useful for both NEET and JEE. Okay. So we'll start. So all of us know from school that the three modes by which heat can be transmitted from one point to the other is conduction, convection and radiation. Of this, conduction and radiation we have to study in detail in this topic of transmission of heat. Okay. So today we are doing conduction. Clear? So what is conduction? That also you will know. So conduction, heat is transferred from one point to the other by the particles vibrating. So conduction is because of molecular collision. Molecular collision. Molecular collision. That means this conductor consists of a number of conducting particles or molecules. So when heat is supplied at one end of this conductor, these molecules start vibrating. So one molecule vibrates and that collides with the adjacent particle, that vibrates in turn because of the heat energy, and thus that heat energy is transmitted from one end to the other, but there is no bodily movement of the particles. What does that mean? No bodily movement means a particle from here does not go here. It only stands in one place and vibrates to and fro. So it's because of the collision between the molecules that heat is transferred from one molecule to the other. So that's a basic point about conduction. Okay. So that's how conduction takes place. Now we have expression for the amount of heat conducted through a good conductor. So what is that? So this I have drawn a good conductor of a given material, say copper, and this is the area of cross section through which heat is conducted normally. So let me assume that the quantity of heat conducted is Q in T seconds. So Q is the quantity of heat conducted in T seconds. So Q by T is rate of conduction, rate by which heat is transmitted. So this heat is falling normally. Normally means perpendicular to the face, and the area of cross section of that face is A. So this is also A. The distance between the two end faces is, let us take it as L. Okay. And a particular material, this is a particular material, for example we said let it be copper. So that has a coefficient of thermal conductivity K. So what is K? We will see. So the expression, we don't have to derive it. The expression for Q by T is Q by T is equal to K A theta 1 minus theta 2 divided by L. Now what is theta 1 and theta 2? When heat is entering from the left face, this left face will be at a higher temperature. So let it be theta 1 degree Celsius. The other end will be at a temperature theta 2 degrees Celsius. We will assume that theta 1 is more than theta 2. So we all know heat flows from higher temperature to lower temperature. So heat is transmitted from the left end to the right end, and this constant K is a constant for a given material. It does not depend on the dimensions of the material. That means it does not depend on the thickness or length or area of cross section, as long as the material remains the same. For example, copper, K is a given value. If it is iron, K will be some other value. So if it is a material which is having a higher conductivity, K will be higher. A bad conductor will have a lower value for K. Clear? So K is a constant for a given material. It only depends on material independent of dimensions or temperature. So this is the basic formula on which our problems are based. Q by T is equal to Ka theta 1 minus theta 2 divided by L. So this is the most important formula in this conduction. Here Q, SI system, what are the units? SI system, Q by T, unit is going to be Q, heat energy. So joules per second can be written as what? K we will see. A, area of cross section, square meter. Theta 1 minus theta 2 divided by L is the fall in temperature divided by distance. Fall in temperature divided by distance is called temperature gradient. Temperature gradient. We know difference in velocity by distance is velocity gradient. Similarly, difference in temperature divided by the distance over which that temperature difference comes is temperature gradient. So, this is theta 1 minus theta 2 by L, that is temperature gradient. So, that is degrees Celsius divided by distance meters. Okay. So, you know the units of all this, substitute all these units, and K, if you find out the SI unit of K works out to be watts per meter per Kelvin. Watts per meter per Kelvin can also be written as watts per meter per degree Celsius. Okay, because change in temperature of 1 degree Celsius, say suppose I say temperature changes by 1 degree Celsius, it is the same as temperature changing by 1 Kelvin. So per degree Celsius and per Kelvin are the same. So substituting these units, the unit of K is watts per meter per Kelvin. And if you want the dimensional formula, I know dimensional formula you have studied in the first chapter of class 11, but as each chapter, as we come across new quantities, each term you should know the dimensional formula. So watts, what is WATT? That is what? Energy per second. So M, energy, force into distance, ml square T raised to minus 2 divided by distance. Okay, so energy, watts is energy by time, heat energy divided by time. So energy divided by time. I am repeating, watts is joule per second, ml square T raised to minus 2 divided by time. Then what? Meter raised to minus 1. So L raised to minus 1, K raised to minus 1. So that works out to be what? Here L raised to 2, L raised to minus 1. So M, L, then this T goes up, T raised to minus 3, K raised to minus 1. Now in case that K and thermal conductivity K there is confusion, you can write it as M, L, T raised to minus 3, theta raised to minus 1. Dimensional formula for temperature, you can either use K or theta. Here because thermal conductivity is denoted by K, I am using the temperature as theta. So the dimensional formula for thermal conductivity, M, L, T raised to minus 3 and theta raised to minus 1. Its SI unit is watts per meter per Kelvin. So in all this, you know the dimensional formula and units of each of these quantities. Is it okay? Clear? So we saw the expression for heat conducted in T seconds. So we saw the expression and the units. What was the formula we saw? Q by T is equal to Ka theta 1 minus theta 2 divided by L. This is the same thing I want to explain in terms of thermal resistance. So the same formula can be written as theta 1 minus theta 2 divided by L by Ka. Okay, the same thing, theta 1 minus theta 2 L divided by Ka, that is theta 1 minus theta 2 divided by R. Q by T is equal to theta 1 minus theta 2 divided by R. This is equivalent to the second year topic current electricity. Q by T is equivalent to current electricity, current I ampere, that I is equal to PD V divided by resistance R. This is equivalent to that. That means current flows from a higher potential to a lower potential. Similarly, heat flows from higher temperature to lower temperature. So heat flows only if there is a difference in temperature between 2 points. Similarly, current flows if there is a difference in potential between 2 points. And that current I flows here, heat flowing per second. So Q by T, sometimes you also find it written as heat current. Heat current only means heat flowing per second. That's all. It's equivalent to current. Electricity is current. So Q by T is theta 1 minus theta 2 by R is equivalent to I is equal to V by R. So R is called thermal resistance or heat resistance, denoted by the letter R. So what is the SI unit of R? So R, if it comes this side, Q by T goes this side. Okay. So SI unit of thermal resistance. I am talking about thermal resistance. Current electricity, you know, it is ohm. So that I am not going to that. SI unit of thermal resistance, theta 1 minus theta 2 divided by Q by T, because R will come this side. So theta 1 minus theta 2 is Kelvin divided by, what is Q by T? Joule per second, watt. So the SI unit of R, thermal resistance, is Kelvin per watt. Kelvin per watt. That's the SI unit. And what will be the dimensional formula? Kelvin, dimensional formula. Kelvin will denote by theta, we mentioned earlier, K or theta, which is to minimize confusion. Kelvin, temperature, theta divided by watt. What is watt? Power. What is power? Energy per second. Energy. mL squared T raised to minus 2 per second time. So it works out to be m goes up, m raised to minus 1, L raised to minus 2, T raised to minus 2 goes up, T raised to plus 2, and another T raised to 3 theta. So this is the dimensional formula for thermal resistance. Those of you who know this formula by heart, you can study as you like, or take some corresponding easier formula and find the dimensional formula. So I have taken it in terms of Kelvin per watt. So Kelvin is temperature, theta, watt is energy per second, energy force into distance, so mL square T raised to minus 2, then energy per second, so per second means by time, that time goes up, then rest we are simplifying. So m raised to minus 1, L raised to minus 2, T raised to minus 2 goes up, T raised to plus 2, so and another T here, so T raised to 3 and theta. So that is thermal resistance, so that is the SI unit of thermal resistance. Okay. Now this also, just like current electricity, conductors in series follows the formula R is equal to R1 plus R2, and conductors in parallel follows the formula 1 by R is equal to 1 by R1 plus 1 by R2. So we will see the effective thermal conductivity when different materials conductors are connected in series and in parallel. So now we will see effective conductivity when conductors are connected in series and in parallel. So first, series, conductors connected in series. So this is two different materials, number 1 and number 2, two cylinders, two different materials. So thermal conductivity is K1 this one, and this has thermal conductivity K2. Lengths need not be the same. So general formula, this has a length L1, this has a length L2. So they are connected one after the other. So conductors connected in series, and here heat is flowing Q by T. So the same heat per second is flowing in both the conductors. Q by T is the same in both the conductors. Okay, Q by T is the same. And what is the formula we wrote for thermal resistance earlier? R is equal to L divided by Ka. That's a formula we wrote earlier for thermal resistance. So here L can be different, K is different, here area is the same, area of cross section is the same for both conductors. So in series connection, current electricity, we have for series connection, total resistance R is equal to R1 plus R2. So similarly here also that formula holds, R is R1 plus R2. So that means L divided by Ka is equal to, what is R1? L1 divided by K1A plus L2 divided by K2A. A is common, cancels everywhere. So what is the formula for conductors in series? L by K is equal to L1 by K1 plus L2 by K2. If there's a third one, L3 by K3. Like that it will go. Okay. Where what does L stand for? L stands for the total length L1 plus L2. Clear? So if the two different materials, example copper and iron, thermal conductivities are given, total length will be L1 plus L2. You can substitute and find out the effective thermal conductivity. So that is conductors in series. So how do you know conductors are in series? In both the conductors, Q by T is the same. Just like for series connection in current electricity, current is the same. Here Q by T is the same. Resistances are different. Current is the same. And this is the effective formula for thermal conductivity. Numerical problems will come in this. Now in this, suppose you have the special case where both the conductors have the same length. If L1 is equal to L2 is equal to L. If you substitute here, and L is L1 plus L2, if you substitute, it simplifies to 2 by K is equal to 1 by K1 plus 1 by K2. This is only in the special case where the conductors have the same length. If there are 3 identical conductors, 3 by K will come. 1 by K1 plus 1 by K2 plus 1 by K3. But always general formula you must remember. Special case it will come with practice, okay, when you do the problems. So this is conductors connected in series, expression for effective thermal conductivity. So how do you know they are in series? Q by T is the same for both conductors. Next, conductors connected in parallel. So here both conductors L is the same. Area may not be the same. So the first conductor, area of cross section A1, second conductor, area of cross section A2, two different materials K1 and K2, two different materials. So total heat that is incident normally is Q by T. But the total heat doesn't pass through each conductor, the heat will split up. So first conductor heat transmitted will be Q1 by T, second conductor heat transmitted will be Q2 by T, and both the total heat coming out will be again Q by T. So in parallel connection, the total heat Q by T is split up into Q1 by T plus Q2 by T. We are talking about two conductors connected in parallel. So that's how you know conductors are in parallel. The total heat splits up. Okay. Then for conductors in parallel, what is the expression for effective thermal conductivity? Either you remember the final result which we are going to get, or how it comes I am going to show you. So current electricity, for resistors in parallel we had the formula 1 by R is equal to 1 by R1 plus 1 by R2. What is R we wrote earlier? R is equal to L by Ka. I am writing it here once more. R is equal to L by Ka. So 1 by R is equal to 1 by R1 plus 1 by R2. Okay. So 1 by R will be Ka by L. L is the same. So formula now becomes Ka is equal to K1A1 plus K2A2. This is the expression for effective thermal conductivity is K. Ka is equal to K1A1 plus K2A2, where K is the effective thermal conductivity, total area A is equal to A1 plus A2. If there are 3 conductors, K1A1 plus K2A2 plus K3A3, that means 3 conductors of different materials. Be careful, if all of them are same material, none of these formulae hold. All are same material, whatever the dimensions, thermal conductivity remains a constant. If this is K, don't do any calculation, answer is K itself. It's only if the conductors are of different materials. Be very careful. So that is conductors connected in parallel. Again, special case where A1 is equal to A2. It can be that the two areas of cross section can be the same. In that case, both have the same area of cross section. Then what will be the effective thermal conductivity when you substitute? This A1 and A2 are equal. A is going to be A1 plus A2, so it will be double of this. So K becomes K1 plus K2 divided by 2. If there are 3 conductors of same area of cross section, it will become K1 plus K2 plus K3 divided by 3. Okay. So if you don't want, once you understand the derivation, you don't need to bother about the derivation, result is enough. So this is the effective thermal conductivity in parallel, and this is the special case when the conductors have the same area of cross section. We have written for 2 conductors here. This can be extended to 3 or 4 like that. Okay. So that is conductors in series, different materials I am repeating, conductors in series and conductors in parallel. So one more concept in the theory of conduction, what is meant by steady state. Steady state means what? So I have taken a conductor of a given material, thermal conductivity K. One end I have maintained at 100 degrees Celsius. That means this end I am surrounding by boiling water. Boiling water means temperature remains constant at 100 degrees Celsius. The other end I am surrounding by melting ice at normal pressure. So temperature remains constant at 0 degrees Celsius. So in the beginning, when the conductor is placed with one end in boiling water and the other end melting ice, this part becomes 100 degrees Celsius first, and as this part is becoming hotter and hotter, that means temperature is increasing from room temperature, the heat is transmitted from this end to the other end. So after some time, steady state is reached. What does it mean? Steady state does not mean, I am repeating, it does not mean every part will become 100. No, this will continue to remain 100. This will continue to remain 0. Say this I have drawn 2 thermometers T1 and T2 separated by a distance D. So this thermometer T1 is near 100, but this will have a temperature lesser than 100. For example, this will have a temperature say 80 degrees Celsius. This one is further away from 100. So this may have a temperature, for example, 35 degrees Celsius. That means as you go from the hotter end, temperature becomes lesser and lesser. And under steady state, whatever temperature is shown by these 2 thermometers remains fixed. That means 80 will not change, 35 will not change, but 80 is not equal to 35. You know it. So they show constant temperatures, but the 2 temperatures are different but steady. So what does that mean? That means every particle of this conductor has attained saturation. That means every particle has absorbed the maximum amount of heat it can absorb. After that, more heat is coming, no particle will absorb, that heat will be conducted to the other end. So under steady state, whatever Q by T is starting from one end, that same Q by T will reach the other end. This point also, if I want to find Q by T, here also Q by T will be the same. So through every part of the conductor, Q by T is remaining a constant. So that's called steady state. The different thermometers or different points will have different temperatures but steady temperatures. Problem condition, Q by T remains a constant at every part of the conductor. Okay, so that is steady state. So we have seen the theory of conduction. Now the problems. So first problem, a uniform slab 10 centimeter into 10 centimeter into 1 centimeter. That means the length, breadth and thickness are given. Is kept between two heat reservoirs at temperatures 10 degrees Celsius and 90 degrees Celsius. So one side the temperature is 90, the other side the temperature is 10 degrees Celsius. The larger surface area touches the reservoirs. So larger surface area will be what? That is the phase 10 into 10. So that's why 10 centimeter, 10 centimeter. So heat is entering from the higher temperature 90 and coming out through the lower temperature 10 degrees Celsius. Okay. So the area through which heat is entering normally is 10 centimeter into 10 centimeter, which is 100 centimeter square. Convert to SI system, 100 multiplied by 10 raised to minus 4 meter square. That means 10 raised to minus 2 meter square. That's the area. Then thermal conductivity. K of the slab is 0.8. So K is 0.8 is given in proper units, watt per meter per Kelvin. Find the heat conducted through the slab in 1 minute. So the time is 1 minute. 1 minute means it's going to be 60 seconds. Then, through what distance is the heat conducted? Heat is conducted through this thickness 1 centimeter. So that means the L is 1 centimeter. What is our basic formula? Q by T is Ka theta 1 minus theta 2 divided by L. The basic formula for conduction. So we'll substitute. So Q divided by, what is T? 60. We have to find out Q. K 0.8. Area of cross section 10 raised to minus 2. Theta 1 minus theta 2. 90 minus 10. 80. Divided by L. L is 1 centimeter. 1 centimeter will become 10 raised to minus 2 meters. So simplify as you like. Here in this problem, what I am doing is this 10 raised to minus 2, both sides will go. 0.8 into 80 is the same as 8 into 8, that is 64. This is Q divided by 60. They have asked you what is Q. So what is Q? 60 multiplied by 64. Multiply as you like. 3840 joules. They have asked the answer in kilojoules. So how do you convert joules to kilojoules? How is it? Divide by 1000, right? So divide by 1000, so it becomes 3.84 kilojoules. 3.84 kilojoules. So this is 3.84 kilojoules. So this is the right answer, choice B. Okay? Second problem. 3 identical conductors are joined as shown in the figure. So they have shown 3 conductors. Okay. For each conductor, so because they are identical, all of them have the same K, that is thermal conductivity, same length 50 centimeter and same area of cross section 1 centimeter squared. They have asked the rate of heat conduction along CD. So this is CD. Along CD they have asked the rate of heat conduction. We know formula for rate of heat conduction is Q by T is equal to Ka theta 1 minus theta 2 divided by L. So along CD we have to know the temperature at C. We have to find theta first. So let this remain as equation 1. We will come to that later. We have to first solve for theta. So first to find theta. Okay. So to find theta, how is the heat flowing? Heat flows from higher temperature to lower temperature. So heat is flowing from this 90 degrees, it comes towards theta. Here also 90 to theta, and both those flow this side. So if this is the first conductor, this is the second conductor, this is the third conductor. How do you say? First conductor Q1 by T, second conductor heat flowing Q2 by T. Both those join up and come along the third conductor Q3 by T, where for each Q by T we are going to use this formula. Now here, because formula Q by T is given as equation 1, in equation 1 Q by T is these terms and all the three conductors have the same K, area of cross section, length. So for Q by T in general, it's enough here all the three terms have K, A and L common. So for Q by T it's enough you write in terms of change in temperature theta 1 minus theta 2. Okay. So equation 2 now becomes, instead of the full formula, K, A by L is common for all the three terms. So Q1 by T. So that will be 90 minus theta plus Q2 by T. Again 90 minus theta is equal to Q3 by T. That will be theta minus 0. Theta minus 0 is theta. So solve 90 plus 90, 180 minus 2 theta is theta. So 180 is 3 theta. So what is theta? 180 divided by 3, that will be 60 degrees Celsius. So we have got the temperature at C. Now we can go back to equation 1. So heat is flowing from C to D. So for equation 1, theta 1 will take as 60 degrees Celsius and theta 2 will take as 0 degrees Celsius. So along CD, Q by T will be K. K is given as 200. Area 1 centimeter square, that means 10 raised to minus 4 meter square, centimeter square to meter square. Theta 1 minus theta 2, 60 minus 0, that is 60, divided by, what is L? The conductor. Each conductor has a length 50 centimeter. 50 centimeter in meters becomes 0.5 meter. Simplify as you like. 6 into 2, 12. These three zeros and there's a 10 raised to minus 4. So 12 multiplied by 10 raised to minus 1. Minus 4 and that plus 3 will come, divided by 0.5. So 12 divided by 0.5 means 12 divided by half. What is 12 divided by half? 24. 24 into 10 raised to minus 1. How much is that? 2.4 joule per second. Joule per second is what? So 2.4 watts. So answer is 2.4 watts. That's okay? So 2.4 watts. So next question on conduction. Question number 3. Two plates of the same area, that means the plates have same area of cross section, are in contact. So they are kept in contact. They are touching each other. Their thicknesses as well as thermal conductivities are in the ratio 2:3. So that means, suppose I draw two different materials. Say I draw like this, two different materials. Both have the same area. So area of cross section is the same. Thicknesses and thermal conductivity. So first thermal conductivity K1, second thermal conductivity K2. K1 by K2 is 2 by 3. That's what is written. So it's a ratio. So that means I'll take K1 to be equal to 2 into some constant. Say I'll call it K. Okay. K1 is equal to 2K, K2 will be equal to 3K. Then, and thicknesses are also in the ratio 2:3. So what's the thickness here? This. So this we call it L1, this we call it L2. So L1 by L2 is also equal to 2 by 3. So that means suppose I take L1 as 2L, for example, L2 will be equal to 3L. Okay. So you know K1, K2, L1, L2. Outer surface of the first plate is at 100 degrees Celsius. So this is the first plate. So that temperature here, this theta 1 is 100 degrees Celsius, and that of the other, that means outer surface of the other, that of the other means outer surface of the other. So I'll call this temperature 20 degrees Celsius. Find the temperature of the interface. So interface means where the two materials are joining here. So I'll call this theta. We have to find out theta. Okay. So question is clear. So when you read the question itself, you know it's a problem on conduction. Okay. So now basic formula we know is Q by T is equal to K A theta 1 minus theta 2 divided by L. So here heat is going in from 100 degrees Celsius coming out through here. In all such problems it will always be steady state. So steady state means what? Q1 by T, that is the heat conducted per second through the first material, is equal to Q2 by T. So formula this. So K1, area same, so A. Then here what's the temperature at the two ends? 100 minus theta divided by L1 will be equal to K2A. Then naturally theta is more than 20. So theta minus 20 divided by L2. We have to solve for theta. Now you can solve as you like. For those who have difficulty in solving, I am just doing the details. Those who want to do by themselves can do it and check the answer. So here A cancels. Okay. So K1, K2, L1, L2 you know. So K1 2K 100 minus theta, L1 2L, K2 3K, theta minus 20, L2 3L. So easy numbers, 2 and 2 cancels, 3 and 3 cancels. Here this is K, that's K, so the K cancels, the L cancels. So what remains? All that remains is 100 minus theta is equal to theta minus 20. Minus 20 comes this side, 120, theta minus theta that side, plus theta 2 theta. Or what is theta? 120 divided by 2, that is 60 degree Celsius. So what is the temperature of the interface? Temperature of the interface is 60 degrees Celsius. So choice is D. Okay. So that's the correct answer. Question is clear?